Alright guys, we're going to show you how to do a sound treatment install on the 21 F150s and the 23 Super Duties. First, we're going to start with our driver's side door, work our way to the back doors, and then the back wall for the sound treatment on the back wall. So we're going to start by taking the panels off that cover our screws, which are going to be 7mm screws. Take our supplied panel tool here. Remove these. This panel here has two clips at the top and hooks in at the bottom. This one here has a plug on it, just connects there, and that's just held in by clips. And then the last one is here. Just want to get your panel tool in there at the top, pull it out. So it hooks in at the bottom as well, clips in at the top. And then there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 number 7 screws. Two at the bottom. And then from here you want to pull from the bottom. The whole door panel hooks in at the top, so you want to pull from the bottom. Takes a good bit of force. And from here you can lift up. Put the camera over here. Then you have the door lock. Just has 2 retainers that you push right here. The door handle, which has a clip right here that you pull on and then pull from the bottom. 1, 2, 3 plugs. Now we have our weather barrier, speaker. Both of those will need to come out. So this is being replaced by our block-off plates, the 1/4" HDPE plastic. So this will not be needed anymore. And then 4 7mm screws on the speaker. Plug here on the speaker, and it comes right out. So depending on whether you're doing speakers or not, you'll want to either keep this or set it to the side. At this point, we will start doing the tiles on the outer skin of the door. So that way we can go ahead and put our block-off plate and our speaker on after we do the inner skin of the door as well. So depending on which level you got on the sound treatment package will depend on how many tiles you received. I believe on the level 1 it's 18 tiles, level 2 is 72, and the level 3 is 144. So this one is going to be getting the full 144, but on the level 1 you'll want to do, you have 18 tiles divided up by 4 doors. You'll probably do 5 for each front door, and then 4 for each rear. And then for the level 2 you have 72 to use, and I believe we can fit I believe probably 20 up here, 20, 40, and then the remainder in the rears. So like I said, this one's getting the 144, and you can just use the sound mat for the remainder of the door that you don't have the tiles for. So this one's getting tiles all in here, and then we'll do the mat here on the inner skin. So first we want to clean the door. So just a rag and alcohol-based cleaner. We use wax and grease remover. You just want to clean all the areas that are going to be getting tiles. So pretty much any flat surface in the door. There's basically 3 levels. So there's this top portion, this middle portion, and this lower portion that we're going to be putting these tiles. So we got our box of tiles right here. I like to just cut this top off. These tiles are a little tricky to get this paper off. I actually use an OFA blade to get them off, and basically you kind of have to stick your blade in between the paper and the tile itself and just cut that edge off of it. Because they actually cut these down before they're coated, so that way it seals all the way around the tile, so some of that residue gets left over. Just cut the edge on 3 sides, and then sometimes there's still some on there. You can just cut it off. once you get a handful of those started, then you can start placing them in. And get this here. So the most important place for these are behind the speaker to catch the back wave of the speaker. So that's where we're gonna start. And this section right here is a little too small to stack them like that, two like that, which we will be doing down here at this section. Stack two like that. So if you can see, this brace here goes down, that one stays level, so it actually kind of opens up down here. So we'll do this section right here vertical all the way over in the edge. Tile on the door. So basically all the way over there on that edge. And these you want to give some spacing to allow water to go around the speaker, around the tiles. Because the inside of this door gets, soaking wet. All the water comes in through here. So you want to make sure that there's not going to be any buildup of water, essentially. So you just want a little bit of spacing there, probably about 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch worth of space. You also don't want to be on top of anything else. You want to make sure you're on a flat surface, nothing that's curved or anything. Down here there's some curving to the door, so you want to make sure that you're on a very flat surface there, and you're not overlapping anything that's not going to let it seal, because then moisture will get underneath of the tile. So probably one more tile there, and then we can start double stacking like that. Start peeling more paper. So I got another batch of those done, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the one right there and then start double stacking. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertical, and now we can start going horizontal with it. Just like that there. Still want to keep your spacing there. And make sure you're not too close to these kind of things right here. So that's 15 of those. I believe that's 15. Or is that? No, sorry, that's 12 of those installed there. So six horizontal like that, and then 6 vertical, and then we could probably fit another 4 in this section right here. Let's go ahead and peel some more paper. So got another 12 tiles peeled and ready to go. I'll just finish this row off right here. And yeah, I'm just gonna put 4 more tiles here on this row. So in order to get this mat on the inner skin here, we're going to need to take this off. This will just push through. We'll push that through. And then this is clipped in here, this module here. And then we'll have some plugs up here that need to be unplugged. And then these are just clipped in. This wire harness is just clipped in here. So we will remove those things, clean it, get it all cleaned up, and then we will start putting the mat on this door. So 2 7s on this module. And I just leave this connected. Plug there, plug there, and then use the panel tool, get under these, and then this clips in on either side here. And it also has a clip here on the back side. This one came out of the bracket. We want to make sure we get this off of here. So we can sound treat in that location. And this has 2 clips here on each corner. 1 on each corner. That came off. Go ahead and put this back on before I forget. Like that. Something Ford does just irritates me is they put masking tape on these harnesses whenever they're manufacturing them, and they don't actually take them off. So I always just go ahead and take it off, just to make it look a little bit better. Alright, now this, just to grommet, just push that through, and just feed it down. Make sure to be careful with these wires here. This is semi-sharp, and it will cut those wires whenever you're pushing them through, so you just gotta be careful. Once that's through, and then go ahead and get this through. Now we have a flat area here, and we'll just need to get this cleaned up and get our mat, get some measurements. I usually measure from this point to this point right here. That usually gives us enough to go from side to side. And what we'll do is we'll actually cut one piece here. Fortunately, it's only going to be this tall, so we'll get that all cut and trimmed down and everything. And then we'll cut another piece that's about this much right here to fill out the bottom section. So get your cleaner. And if you have some, what that is butyl. If you have some of that leftover butyl there, this wax and grease remover really eats at it really well. So So before we do the mat, I want to get our block off plate, because when the mat's on there, it's a little bit harder to see these things that we use to align the plate. So basically there's 3 points that we use to align it, and they're all up here. And you could also use this line as well. But these are holes that are actually drilled out on the plate. So I'll go grab that, and we will pre-drill a hole in on either end of it, just that way we'll have those marked there. So these are the 3 holes I was talking about, and basically you just want to line them up in the middle of there, of each hole. And you also have this line here that the plate follows. So what we can do is just take our 1/8 inch drill bit, and all I'm going to do is just mark that right there. Do the same thing down here. ahead and go through. Alright, so we got those holes drilled, and we're just gonna put the block off plate screws, 2 of those in place of those holes, just so that way when the mat is on there, we can easily identify where those holes are, and that just makes installation of the plate later so much easier. So at this point, we can go ahead and get the black hole mat and get it cut down to where it needs to be, and we'll go from there. Alright, so basically we're going to measure out and see how big our sheets need to be. So basically what I was saying earlier is I use this this joint right here, or this weld joint or whatever that is, from here to this outer edge right here. So these 2 right here, that's kind of what I measure to. And that is 38 inches or 97 centimeters, whichever you prefer. I prefer centimeters, but I know most people work in standard these days. So what we're gonna do is so 38 inches or 97 centimeters, which is just about half of this sheet. This sheet is about 200 centimeters long, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cut it straight down the middle to make it easy. So I'm just gonna cut it right down the middle. So this should be the whole top portion, and then we'll save this section for later, which we may use this on the we may cut this down this way to use it on the bottom section. So let's go ahead and so usually want to test fit your material before you actually stick it on there. So it is going to cover what we need to cover, which we're mainly worried about covering around here, around where the plate is going to rest there, all the way over to past the speaker right here. So the speaker is going to sit about right here where this contour is on the door, and then we'll go around, and then the plate comes out to about right here. So we'll go around there like that, around here. So this sheet's gonna work, so we can go ahead and peel the paper off the back. And one thing that we see as necessary, but it really isn't, is having the words upright, black hole, upright, rather than upside down, sideways, crooked, this way and the other. So we're just a little OCD here, so that's kind of something that we're that's one of our pet peeves. So just want to make sure you stick it on kind of in the center, get it pressed in before you go all the way around with the roller and everything. And the edges you want to keep free, because we're actually going to trim these down, because we don't want to cover these clips up. All this stuff we want to keep open. Ouch. And that stuff is very sharp, so make sure you don't cut yourself with it. So yeah, there's clips on either side that we'll be cutting around. So make sure to just not press in the sides. And then what I do up here at the top is I'll take my blade and I'll cut along this weather stripping just below it. So that way it kind of tucks in there a little bit nicer. So get it pressed in, and then I'll cut that. And you can pull the treatment off of the door and just cut it all the way across there at the end, and we'll address that in just a minute. So now that we got that cut, you can start just rolling this on. See a little bit of air right there. And peel it back and then roll it out. Alright, so we'll start over here. So we have this section right here, which we don't want to cover, this section here. So what I do is I just take the blade and I do a small little line telling me where I don't want to cover, right? So right there, and then we can come all the way out to about right here on that section right there to cover that plate. So this can be just like that. You just want to do a couple easy passes. You don't want to go bearing down on it because that'll just scratch the paint and everything. You just want to cut that first layer of foam, and then the aluminum, and that butyl should come right with it. So I don't like sharp corners on it, so I just like to round it over sort of like that. So we went far away from that clip there, so that clip on the door panel will be able to press in there, be able to clip in there. And then we have our screw right here for the block off plate. So our plate's going to be covered, and then we have this that's going to be cut out as well. And then can come around, just go straight down there. Alright, so pretty similar on this side as well. Let's see if you guys can see it. So we have a clip here and one here. So make a mark there and one here. This can just go like that. Alright. And then I'm not going to want to cover up this bolt right here for service reasons. So I'll just go around like that, and then our lower portion can just attach here to here. Like that. And then you just want to take your roller and go around everything again. So there's a few things that we'll need to cut out here, but I'm just going to go ahead and get this bottom piece attached, and then we'll cut everything that needs to be cut out here. So the bottom piece, which I believe we can just use the rest of the piece that we have cut over there, it's going to be 30 inches or 77 centimeters. So we'll go ahead and get that cut, and the height as well will need to be 20 centimeters or 7 inches. So 30 by 7. 30 by 7 or 77 by 20. Okay. So that'll go there and there. And the way this treatment folded over here to cover here, we'll have a little gap here, but that's going to be covered up by the by this piece anyway, so that doesn't really matter. Just want to get it on there with our hands, and then can start trimming away. So this section here, I'm just gonna cut that off from there, and then I'm just gonna create a little fill it. So that's that. And then this can just be cut off flush with that. There's a bolt right here that we'll need to go around. And then here, so we don't want to cover this and we don't want to cover that. So what we're actually going to do here is cut a little bit more of this right here and then come down with it. Right to the edge of that. This will come off too. So we can pretty much cut straight here across, and then we'll want to go up to expose this bolt right here. And you can just go flush back with that one. And then get your roller out. And now we can start cutting everything out. So I'm going to start here with the speaker. Be mindful not to have your blade super long. We have some wires back there, all these wires and everything, so be mindful of that. Just roll over it. Okay, and then we have the block off plate. Hole. And this part right here, there's sections of this that come up to hold a clip. I just go straight across there instead of trying to make that turn and everything. The plate's gonna sit right here, and this actually goes in a little bit, so it's not gonna prohibit the plate from, or the plate's not gonna be touching this or anything, so we don't have to worry about that. So this can go down. And then we have two more of these things, right? One here and one here. So Alrighty, so now we have this hole for the main harness of the door. Just want to cut that flush there, and then we have this for our door lock and door handle. And we have this bolt here, which I just want to uncover. And there are two screw holes for the door panel to mount into that I like to cut out. It's going to be a little square. Like that. One there and one here. That should be all the factory bolts and everything that are covered. Alright, so we can go ahead and push these in. Those go just like that, and then we have a clip here. Just do a little bit of an outline of the clip itself so it can sit in there a little bit better. And then one more right here. I've been told that. Bam. And this module right here just goes like that. So get a 7mm. screws back in all the way. Alright, so now all that's left is speaker. Put this module back in, that's easy. So just put this back in. That's that, and then block off plate and speaker. So what we can do first is take these two screws out that we left in before. What I normally do is just unscrew it from there. Grab the plate, put your screws back in the same locations. There. Then basically all we have to do is just pre-drill the rest of these holes and get the screws in the rest of them, and then that'll be the plate install. Alright, so now we're going to do the treatment of the door panel itself. This is probably one of the most crucial aspects of the sound treatment because of how flimsy these door panels are. So adding the mat to this adds a lot of mass and reduces a lot of vibration with this plastic. So first thing we're going to do is cover this big section right here, which is 34 by 8, looks like. Yeah, that's the front. Alright, so I'm just going to cut this here. And here. So that can fold down there. Then you can cut that down the middle. Do that there. So that can fold down like that. Just fold down like that. Cut a piece with that. so that should be just about all you need on this door here. So got a good piece here, here, this whole piece here, and then we also went all the way around this trim here, here, and here. So that should be plenty of treatment for this door. And on this one's just getting, we're just doing the factory speaker on this one, leaving the factory speaker. So we're just going to put this back in, and then the door can go back on, and then we will move on to the rear door and get that started up here in just a minute. Alright, so we just need to mark where these factory screws are for the speaker. Mark where those are, so that way it's a little bit easier to install the speaker back in there. 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 Alright. And then and plug it in. And if we did, if we had some aftermarket speakers, we'd be doing a foam ring around, but this already has it here, so, and that flushes up against the door, so that way all the sound comes out of the door, the speaker grill, rather than resonating throughout this whole section. So now the door panel is ready to go back on, and we'll get this on, and then we will start on the rear. So let's grab our door panel. I actually kind of like to use these right here to set the panel on, kind of rest it there, so that way I can get everything hooked up. This just goes in and clips in. This one hooks in at the top, and that's it. This is our window switch plug, which goes right here. Our door lock switch, and the gray connector below the two. And whenever you're putting this back on, just make sure that the wires aren't going to fall and interfere with the speaker. You just make sure they're coming upward rather than downward. So those are good. And all you have to do is just hook up the top. Top hooks on, and then you'll want to look over here and verify that these clips are lined up. Same with this side over here. So everything feels like it's lining up. It clips on and there's no awkward spacing or anything going around. That's perfect. Now I just have our, I believe it's 6-7mm screws. So the two large machine screws. These go here in the center. Then we have 4 of the coarse thread screws, and these go 1 here, 2 at the bottom, and 1 up here. There's no difference between the 4. Then all of the covers. So remember, this one hooks in at the bottom, snaps in at the top. And this one has the plug on the top right here. And just clips in. And this door is finished, so completely sound treated, a lot sturdier than before. So big improvement. Now we're going to move on to the rear door, which is very similar in design. It just has 1 less screw up here, nothing up here in the top right. So 2 out of this panel right here, 2 down here at the bottom, and 1 behind the reflector. Alright, so we got those covers off. Now we're gonna go ahead and unscrew these 5 7mm. So 2 here, 1 here, and then 2 at the bottom. And same as the front door, it just unclips from the bottom and unhooks from the top. And then just pull up. And then here you have the same door connector. So clip at the bottom, pulls from the bottom, clip there, pulls from the bottom, window switch clip there, and the same door lock clip there, and another gray plug, and that's it. Alright, so we have our weather barrier here. That's going to be replaced by the block-off plate. So that is trash. Three 7s on the rear speaker. And so now we can go ahead and start on the tiles. We'll get the outer skin cleaned up, and we will start peeling and sticking tiles. So the rear doors are actually a lot easier to do the tiles than the front doors are. It seems like these can fit a lot more just because of how much flat surface area there is. So believe it or not, we use the same number of tiles in the front door as we do the rear door, which is 36. So basically 36 in each door is what we're going to be using, and that's for the level 3 package. And if you did the level 1, it would be 4 tiles in each rear door, and then the level 2 would be about 16 in the rear door. So these, I believe, can double stack. Yes, yep. Plenty of room to stack these horizontally. So we're gonna do these horizontally, 2 rows horizontal all the way across. So these beams here are horizontal here perfectly. They don't go diagonal or anything. So a lot easier to do these. So I'll go ahead and peel a good number of these. these 3. Alright. So this row is totally done. Alright, so we got this whole middle section done. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. So that's 16 total tiles right there, that middle section. Next, we're going to move up here, fill this section out right here. This one up here, we can pretty much do the same thing we did there in the middle. Just do the double stack all the way across, and then maybe one right here, since the door handle's in the way. Yeah, we'll fill that out, and then we've got the bottom down there. All right, so let's get to it. Let's peel some more tiles. I'm gonna go ahead and peel the rest of this box since I know we're gonna be using it. So I'm gonna start on this top section up here, and again we're doing it just like this section right here, double stacked horizontal. Let's see if we can see up in there what we're doing. So, can kind of see what's going on over there. So I put 4 over there already. And it's just the same thing as that right there. Maybe a little bit more spacing. But we should be able to go all the way across here, doing that same thing. So right there at this door handle I just put 1, but all the way across I did 2. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 11 up here in this top section up here. Now we just have this lower section, and So yeah, the remainder we're gonna put down here at the lower section here. I think those, yeah, those will have to go horizontal as well. You can just start all the way over down here, pushing them down. And you want to make sure that you're on just below that rail right there, just below that rail. Let's see if I can get light in there. See, because if you go any lower than that, then it's going to be below that that contour on the door. So you want to be right below that rail right there, and you can go all the way across when doing that. Alright, so that is all 72 tiles for this side of the car. 36 in the front, 36 in the rear, and yeah, just all horizontal down there at the bottom. 2 rows of horizontal here, 2 rows of horizontal there. And the next thing is going to be getting all of this harnessing off, pushing it all through, getting it cleaned, and putting the mat on this inner skin. So we will be doing that right now. So on the rear, it has a clip right here on this, on the door lock cable. The front didn't have this clip like that, so. Take the same panel tool, get behind the clip. What you're doing here is you're just getting behind that, coming out with it. Just like that. And we can push that through. I don't think there's any more masking tape on that one, so push this one through. We'll clean the door. So now we just need to get our measurements and start cutting down the mat. And this is going to be the same as the front door. I use this and this to get my measurement. And we'll use the full 20 here, and then probably like a 7 or 8 here on the bottom section. So let me get the tape measure. So we're looking at about 28 inches. And 70 centimeters, maybe 71. Let's say 28 inches. Keep it simple. 28 inches. All right, so here's a 28 inch sheet right here. So yeah, that's plenty to cover side to side. So go ahead and peel this. And line it up at the top. Make sure we're covering everything. Actually, before this, before that, we need to get our plate screws drilled out. So again, we have 2 alignments here, 2 holes. So line that up there. Center point of the hole, center point of the hole. There, from there. Alright, so now we're ready for the mat. Alright, so we got our 28. Looks good. Now we're going to line it up with this top edge here, make sure it's level. Again, press in the center, not the sides. So we are going to be cutting the sides. Fix this top section. Alright, so we have a clip here, bolt here, but our block off plate extends to right here, so I want to kind of follow this edge right here. So we're going to be cutting about right like that. We have a clip here. And no sharp corners, so I'm going to round this over. Alright. Then we also have a bolt here as well. Bolt here. So this can come down just like that. Cut through it one more time. Alright, so we're going to cut this speaker hole out. And the plate hole. Cut this plate hole out, and then we have these screws that can come out. Roll that out. Alright. Got the harness hole. And the door handle door lock. Whoa, careful now. Alright. And the harnesses. Alright, so now we can go ahead and put these back in place. Feel on the back side where these are located. And one more up here. And then we also have this that needs to go through. I literally just use the screw to poke through on the back side to tell me where it's at. So you just cut a circle around it. And that's it there. Got that a little tangled up. Pull that out there. There we go. Alright. Now we can pull these screws out. And put the plate on. Alright, and now we just need to drill the rest of these holes out. So that is the block off plate, and now all we have to do is sound treat the door panel and install the speaker back here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the speaker. Oh. Gonna mark the speaker holes. And plug it in. So that is speaker, block off plate, ready for the door panel. We just need to sound treat the door panel, and then this door can go back on. Alright, so we're going to start sound treating the plastic door panel itself. First thing we want to do is remove this. We're not going to be putting this back on, so this can just be set to the side, thrown away, whatever you want to do. So we're going to be covering all these flat surfaces that we've got, so kind of like we did in the front door. So this whole piece right here, here, basically all the way around, and then I like to put some on this pocket right here just to add some density to it as well. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. Let's get some measurements, see how big pieces we need. So a 25 by 7 on this piece. Alright, so it's gonna fit there. We'll just have to cut it down once we get it on. Line up this top right corner. Across. So we don't want this here, so we'll just cut along this line right here and go up with this. Just like that. And then most of this can just be folded down. You can cut a line right here so it can fold easier. Just a little clip right there I want to cut around. And then we have this section here. That can get tucked down, and then this, we have a little bit extra here. Just want to cut some of the stuff that's going to be a little too much to tuck down. Just about that much off. And the rest of that can tuck straight down. So that piece is done. Let's do this one next. Use this piece that we've got here laying around. So that's a 15 by about 6. That's how much we need. Like to pull this up just so that way we can get around these here. Just makes it a lot easier when that wire is not in your way. Needs to be cut down like that. Cut across here. Just like that. So yeah, we just don't want to cover any of this up. And then we have these little pieces here where the cable was mounted to, so we can put that back. Alright, now we have this piece, this whole section here, and then all the way across here that we're going to fill up. Here, about 7 by 8. So just cut up around that clip right there. Same on this side. And I'll fold down. Then we can go around all of this right here. So this needs to be about 2 inches. That's all it really needs to be. Let's see. It's a little much. So about a 2-inch by 7.5. You just want to start all the way down on one side and then work your way around. Alright, and then we have, so this section here, and then just all the way around now. We can just cut down pieces like this, be very helpful. Just like sections like this. Just do them in like 3-inch, 2.5, 3-inch sections. Then you can always use these little pieces to cover little areas like this. Then I can use a bigger section here. This goes down a bit deeper, so I'm just going to use a bigger section here and cut the excess. And cut around this clip right here. Once I get that in there, I can basically cut around that clip there. All right. There's a piece here. Piece right here. Alright, so we got all the treatment on the door panel itself, all done with that. We got all around this edge here and all these flat surfaces, so we're going to go ahead and put this back on the door, back in the car, and we should be just about wrapped up here. Alright, so we've got our sound treated door here. This is all treated. We've got our speaker in, the block off plate installed, all the factory harness back clipped in and everything. So we are ready to install this back on. Basically the same way it came off. We have our door lock, door handle, which again just hooks in at the top and then clips in at the bottom. Then we have two plugs that need to be connected. We have the gray plug down here and above the speaker, and the green window switch. Make sure those are plugged in, and then this just hooks in at the top. Make sure it's hooked in, and then and then just make sure that these clips are all lined up on both sides, and then you can push it on. Peel around the edges, make sure nothing's pushing out on the door panel. All feels good. Now we can put our screws in. We have 5 screws. We have 3 coarse thread screws and 2 fine thread screws, or machine screws. The 2 machine screws go here below the handle, and then the 3 coarse thread screws, 2 go at the bottom, 1 go here behind the reflector plate. And just 2 panels to reinstall: the door handle panel and the reflector plate. Remember, the bottom hooks in, the top clips in. So that is the full install video on the front and rear sound treatment of the 21 Plus F150 and 23 Plus Super Duty trucks. If you have any questions, if we didn't cover anything, or if you're just curious about something, then just give us a call. We are always here, willing to answer any questions that you may have. Just let us know.